Hello, and welcome to our very first episode of Opposing Forces. My name is Michael, aka Bluswept, and this here is my co-host Liz, aka Princess P. And we're here to bring you the latest news and reports from the gaming industry.
Yep. Hey guys, this is Princess here. I just want to wish all you trainers out there a very happy Pokemon Day.
That's right, on this day, 20 years ago, the very first Pokemon game was released.
And to commemorate today, there are many awesome deals and treats going down. First off, the Pokemon Company will be having a live Twitch stream for a whole 32 hours. They plan to show live gameplay and do interviews with producers and other team players. At the end half of their live stream, they'll be releasing Pokemon episodes and showing movies. On top of that, GameStop is hosting early access Pokken events at participating stores, so be sure to check yours. On top of that, GameStop will have 20% off plushies, and if you buy a Pokemon item, aka a plushie, you get a free double-sided poster, which I really wish I could get. And on top of that, Toys R Us will be giving away exclusive Pokemon cards, which is really awesome because I love cards. And then, on top of that, for all you trainers out there, be sure to watch out for those exclusive Pokemons and legendary Pokemons that you can download via your game throughout the year.
Oh. Well, it's going to come in handy.
They will, because once the new games Sun and Moon come out, you'll need extra Pokemon to find out and explore those new regions.
They released the announcement just on time for their birthday, too.
They did. And in fact, while they haven't shown us any gameplay, they have shown producers working very hard on developing a new region for these new games.
And that's going to be interesting to see what they do. I think they might use Lunatone and Solrock, the Sun and Moon Pokemon, if you remember from a while back. And speaking of new game releases later this year, there's a somewhat confirmed rumor of Battlefield going around right now. It says according to a Swiss retailer, it's slated for late October. It says the 18th, but that's to be confirmed. The names have been kind of tossed around. This is not the first time this retailer has actually confirmed something. They also confirmed the Uncharted trilogy before it was announced, and the Sony confirmed that several months later. This one is going to be seemingly different from the previous Battlefield games, at least 4 and Hardline, because this one seems to be set in World War I, which seems to be a pretty big topic this year, as there's other World War games coming out, first-person shooters that we'll be looking forward to. Moving on, there's a game that I might actually demo for it because it's called Shadowin. The more you play it, the cheaper the final game will be. It's by the same people who made Trine, a company called Frozen Byte. And they're trying to find a way to promote the demo. I feel like more game companies should do this just to hype up their game. It's going to be on Steam, it's going to be on the Humble Bundle store, and GOG later this year. So keep an eye out for that. Pick up the demo when you can. Scouring the internet, also found something that was really... I don't know how they did it. This is for you PC gamers. DirectX 12, which is included with Windows 10, somehow they were able to put a Radeon and a GeForce graphics card in the same computer and get them to work together, which has just been unthinkable. And that'll really... It's for multiple GPUs if you really want to get the most out of your computer. I'm interested to see how that would work because it's never worked before, but we'll see. Next news story. Senator against violence in games was sentenced to 5 years for corruption and weapons smuggling.
That's really funny.
Oh,
I
very.
can't help but laugh.
He's a former California state senator. Leland Yee has been sentenced to 5 years in prison on charges of political corruption and weapons smuggling. He has been an outspoken advocate against violence in video games. Kind of ironic that he would get locked up for a violent crime.
Video games don't make people violent. Lag makes people violent.
Yes. And honestly, it's all about choice. If you can tell the difference between reality and video games, then there's not going to be a problem. There's always going to be those people that are going to blame video games just because they can. That's a big problem. Yeah, that's a big problem nowadays. Something we should be watching out for. I think you guys really want to stay tuned to E3 2016 this year. It's going to be a big year for E3. There's going to be a lot of announcements, a lot of trailers. I'll talk about another one I'm thinking about later that might happen. But for this one, Take-Two said that E3 is going to be a big day, a big convention for them because if you remember, they were the company that made Red Dead Redemption, and fans are speculating about a second game. And I never got around to play the first one. I might actually, based on this rumor. But from what I understand, the character died at the end of the first one, so I don't know how they could continue the second one without making a new character.
That would be hard.
It would be very hard. Moving on even further, Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 are getting remasters on the PS4 and Xbox One. I hadn't got around the chance to play 4 or 6 yet, but I really loved 5. So it would be nice to get to play it on current generation systems finally. And I know it's more for the horror fans, though.
Yeah. Not a horror fan at all.
No.
No.
Don't like zombies, you don't want to play Resident Evil. That's for sure. Next up is some BioShock news. It's been a few years since BioShock Infinite came out. I think it's been about 3 years since BioShock Infinite came out. But we've gotten some interesting news. This is just a rumor. There's a Brazilian advisory rating board that has confirmed the existence of a BioShock collection. The collection is going to be for last generation, current generation, and PC. Last generation already has BioShock, so it wouldn't be anything new to people who still play last gen. But for those of us who switched over to new gen recently, I personally miss the BioShock games. I know, Pete, you said you didn't like them when you played it with the motion controller on the PS3.
It was really hard, and I think part of it was I didn't have the camera set up right, so my guy didn't want to move really. It was just really kind of mind-boggling at the point. And of course, I was still a new console gamer, so I didn't understand it all. I think if I tried it again on a new gen console, I might enjoy it more. I think the story is a really sound and good story.
I don't know. The second one to me was kind of loose. The third one, Infinite was what they called it. Really kind of messed up my mind with just how they did things. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the ending kind of messed me up. It leaves me just going mind blown the entire night.
Yeah, no spoilers, Blue.
No, in the first one, because each one has multiple endings. Depending on which ending you choose, the first one's gonna make you cry at the end. Yeah, there's 3 endings for the first one, and one of them makes you cry, and the 2 others are like the same ending, but they're triggered by different events. Yeah. So yeah, if it comes to new gen, I would definitely give it a shot. If you have never played BioShock before, now's the time when the collection comes out, or you can, if you don't want to wait, you can actually rent it on PS4 with PS3 graphics, so it's not going to be great graphics, but you can rent it right now in the PlayStation Store using PlayStation Now. And I also want to talk about, so recently Obsidian Entertainment released a press release that's saying they'd be interested in making a new Fallout game. I know Fallout 4 just came out at the end of last year, so it might not be anytime soon because they still want to let Fallout 4 live up to its potential, and those Fallout expansions are finally been announced that are coming out in March, April, and May. I'm looking forward to those. The Automatron one hasn't had a date announced, but it's in March sometime.
I need time to find more copper before they can release another Fallout.
No kidding. That's like one of the least favorite things I have to go hunting for every day, just to be able to build stuff. I have a whole stack of stuff and yet no copper in any of those.
None
at all.
Plenty of duct tape, but I have no copper.
Yeah, duct tape, I've got crystals, I've got a bunch of stuff that I don't need. But within the next couple of years, we might actually see an announcement. I wouldn't say a game release, but we'll see an announcement within the next couple of years from Obsidian. If you guys remember, Obsidian is comprised of employees from the original Interplay Entertainment that made Fallout 1 and 2. So, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with a new Fallout game after 4. Of course, I don't think it's going to be Fallout 5. They're probably going to name it something different. Because, Fallout New Vegas didn't say Fallout 4. Even though it was after 3. So, Who knows where it will be set? There's some rumors going around that's going to be New Orleans, which should be really interesting. I would pay a lot of money to go to New Orleans and Fallout.
That would be really awesome. Mardi Gras, Fallout style.
Next up is an announcement from that a Mass Effect writer has moved over to Bungie to work on Destiny. Your thoughts on that?
Which is awesome news, because while Destiny has a really great core story, I think there needs to be more of an expansion on said story, like when the stranger tells you, I have no time to explain why I have no time to explain, and then leaves you there with a new rifle and just disappears.
And we never see her again.
We never see her again. So I think this would be really good, and plus I think if they added a way to put the grimoire, or the cards that you get, that you can collect into the game, so you can access them in-game, like a library of sorts. You could put it in the tower, and have it as a reference library. You could go in there with your little avatar dude and be like, I'm gonna look up this or this about the Vex or the Cabal or anything.
I know I know it's on Deej's wish list to put in the game, so I'd be interested to see if that is something they're gonna do. And honestly, Destiny had a great story. They kind of left off with Dark Below. Wasn't a great story. Neither was House of Wolves. Both of those were very short, very brief. You got through them in a day.
But I do like the Queen, because
the Queen was badass.
Spoken, so as soon as I met the Queen, I was like, you're the most amazing thing ever.
And I also want to see if she somehow lived through that battle at the beginning of the Taken King.
Well, I mean, with all the power that the Nine gave her, I wouldn't be surprised if she had some way of surviving that. I mean,
yeah, she could have teleported out before, because, you know, we didn't see her die. We just saw her looking at the explosion and it cut away. So she could still be alive.
We know her dick brother lived, too.
I never liked him.
I never liked him either. And speaking of Deej, he also actually just announced that there's going to be new content for Destiny. Finally!
A light level increase. I can't wait for that.
Oh, yes.
There's speculation that's going to be to light level 330 is what the rumor is going around right now.
I haven't quite gotten to 320 yet. I'm missing that Hunter artifact. But everything else I have is 320. So I'm like 319. So this increase is like, I better like step up my game and get to 320 before the new release for the 330.
Same.
And on top of that, they're going to have all new content with the new light level increase. They're going to have, I believe they said 2 DLC content packages for spring and winter, which will be great because we have been in a 6-month slump and everybody is like, I hate Destiny because there's no content.
We need something new other than just Iron Banner every month and Trials every weekend. It gets so tiring to do the same thing over and over.
SRL and Crimson Days was great.
I love those.
320 Ghosts, that was fabulous.
I still haven't even picked mine up yet.
I need more content. I need meat, Destiny. Meat.
You need something to hold you over.
You
need protein.
Something to hold me over until 2017 with Destiny Year 2.
Which they have confirmed.
They have confirmed. Finally. I'm like not sure what it's going to hold. Like, I don't know.
Well, we didn't know what Destiny was going to hold with first release.
We didn't. I mean,
it's an adventure.
Kind of did, but not really.
Well, when they announced it, they built it up to be this huge science fiction, massively open world game, and then they kind of cut a lot of content out of it last minute. And so a lot of people didn't get what they were expecting. And I think that made a lot of people mad.
I think this first year, though, for Bungie has been a very huge learning lesson. I think with their new implement of doing their weekly announcements through a Twitch stream instead of just through a long article.
Oh, I hate reading those.
More DLC coming out. I think they've learned that they need to stay in communication with their players and that they need to be on top of their game with releasing content.
Well,
don't get me wrong. I don't mind waiting for new content, because I want it to be good content, not like half put together content.
We don't need half-assed content.
It needs to be in a timely manner.
Yes.
We need an outline. Like,
we need information of what kind of stuff are we going to be expecting out of the next content release, which I do believe Deej said he will tell us about it after Crimson Days. Crimson Days just ended last Tuesday, so I mean, I'm saying within the next week or so he's going to start talking about it. Maybe.
Hey, Bungie, hint, hint.
Yeah, hint, hint. I don't think he's gonna go 3 weeks without talking about it, because he did say he's willing. He's like on his feet about wanting to talk about it. They're just holding him back.
It must be really hard holding all those secrets in.
Oh
I'm
man,
not a
I
good
can't imagine.
secret. You must just be wanting to burst open wide and say, here's all this awesome stuff.
And I feel like
We'll take it all.
I just feel like it's gonna be something great,
Mm-hmm.
and I might actually pick Destiny back up. If
You
it,
should.
I miss playing it. I need to get up to 320 though. That's my first thing.
And I finally went flawless this weekend. So excited.
Congrats.
And I feel like a really well-rounded Destiny player. If
I might take you and Soul take me flawless.
Me. I don't know how much help I will be because I got carried, but.
Well, now you can carry me. Well, speaking of March, there's actually there was a whole list of games that were releasing in March, but there's only 4 I really want to point out, and one of them's not even a game; it's a content pack. The Division. Hype is releasing March 8th, which is what, next week? Week and a half from now?
Yes.
Can't wait for that.
Like 11 more days.
Yeah. This one does not have an exact release date, and I'm surprised at that. Bethesda's told us they were releasing the Fallout 4 expansion pack Automatron, Build Your Own Robot, which is going to be awesome, and I do believe they said Destructible Environments if they don't have that already implemented. They said Destructible Environments are coming. So that'll be fun to mess with.
I hope I remember to buy my season pass.
Oh yes, you do need to remember to buy your season pass before March 1st, or the price is going to go up to. So you might want to sit down for this, $50.
$50.
Right now it's.
Holy Jesus!
Right now it's
game.
$29.99. So I'd pick it up right now before the price changes. And there's no release date on that yet. They just said sometime in March. So there's going to be another one coming out in April and another one coming out in May. So they've announced the next 3 months worth of expansion packs, and they said there's much more coming later this year. So it's definitely worth more than $30. They said it's worth about $60 total, all the expansion packs combined. So
wow.
Yeah, they said it's basically they've got more content than the original game in these expansion packs. Yeah. So I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that.
You know,
I know. Hype. Pokken tournament. You know, the early access, as P mentioned, is going to be today. But Pokken Tournament is going to be March 18th when that comes out, and that's going to be for Wii U. And also, this next game, nobody's really talked about it before, so I want to sit down and talk about it. It's called Adrift, and instead of an I, it's a 1. Adrift is going to be a PC game, so all of you console gamers can shut your ears right now. For those of us with computers that are VR capable are going to love this game, and I don't think you have to have a VR, so if not, that's fine. March 28th, the Drift is going to come out. I have been following the news for this for months. This is going to be a single player game. You're going to be trapped in a space station, and you're going to have to get out with limited oxygen. It's a beautiful
puzzle game.
Yeah, it's going to be like Portal, but somewhat like less. There's no shooting. You're just floating, and you have to grab oxygen tanks that are floating in the middle of space in order to survive. And somehow you have to escape the carcass of your spaceship or your space station and get back down to Earth safely. And it's one of those games, like, it's calm, but your heart is still pounding while you're playing it, just because it's so real looking. And the fact that it's also virtual reality, those of us with virtual reality headsets, put them on, you are in space. That's how real it looks.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll put all the links to all of this stuff in the description, so if you want to go down there and check that out, you can watch trailers for all of these. I'll put the links to the articles where I've got this information from, all my sources. And join us next Saturday when we do this all over again. We'll be covering...
Before we go, guys, I wanted to make sure... Why don't you go ahead and name your favorite Pokemon down in the comment section below?
Yes,
Mine is Ninetales and Vulpix.
We'll be doing a question of the day every week from now on, where you will put your answer down in the comments. We'll read them out next time. And
do like a little poll.
Yeah, we'll do a little poll. And so like mine is Charizard. Yeah, I've had him since the beginning. Yeah, Charizard's awesome. Although I do like Blastoise though. Just
I like
because.
Cyndaquil.
Oh, Cyndaquil is awesome. Well, we can go on for hours about this. I'll see you guys next Saturday at same time, noon Eastern Standard Time, whatever that is for your time. For Pacific time. That's like 8 a.m. I think. 8 or 9.
Around there.
8 or 9 Pacific time. Noon Eastern time. Join us next week for even more game content. We might be expanding this a little bit more than just game news. We might show some gameplay and review some games. Maybe I'll get a chance to play Far Cry Primal in the next week. I will see you guys next time.